let's talk about managing triggers. Okay, we're on the bottom of page 5 here. You need to manage your triggers where you spend all your time, because if we manage the triggers, this is going to help a lot, okay? Typically, we spend most of our time at work or at home or where we stop in between them. Many of us also find that our appearance may need to change so that old behaviors are not reinforced. And when we change a habit or try to quit, we'll find that triggers everywhere. To succeed, we must manage our locations and our environments and do the things we need to do to overcome this. Well, let's look first. On page 6, you can look at your residence. Now, the chances are your habits are very strong at home. It's not easy to uproot and move, right? You say, well, gee, I can't help it. I've been here 20 years. They're deeply ingrained. Yes, that's true. And maybe in the economy that you're in, right, and the job level you're at now, you can't just up and sell your house and move, right? So what do we need to do? We need to change things inside the house. And so on page 6 there, look at these things. Ask yourself, where am I triggering the most? Where am I giving in? Where are the triggers, when I'm doing my habit, when I'm doing that thing that I don't want to be doing, what room am I doing it in? Is it the living room, the kitchen, the garage? Is it in the yard or the basement? Is it at the neighbors? Is it my vehicle? Check off the ones that are really, really relevant to you, okay? And then come back. Now, there are many things that can trigger your craving. And look at the areas that you just checked off. Is there a common area where the triggers were most effective? Where were you when you became triggered? In what area did you finally take action to fulfill your cravings? That's the kind of things we're looking at. Now, that room or multiple rooms that you checked off might need a makeover. Now, it depends how often the room fulfills that purpose, right, of getting you into a trigger. Are there artifacts from the past that perhaps need to be in a less prominent place? Things like pictures that take you back to the good old days, right, may cause you to romanticize addictive behavior. Now, in psychological terms, that's called euphoric recall. All of a sudden, you're daydreaming about good old times, and yet you have pictures all on the wall of when you used to do the habit, right? Are there pictures, trophies, music, or clothing that have euphoric recall? If so, it's time to change them. Are there reminders of someone who has died, perhaps, and is still evoking grief, and now all of a sudden you're grief-stricken? Maybe it needs to be put in a different room. Maybe a different place. It's a new day. Let's make a new place. If your habits you're trying to change are associated with smells or familiarity, then you may need to freshen up the room, change the decor, reposition the furniture. Get rid of old fabrics that might have strong smells that would remind you of your old habits. If needed, remove any pictures. Let's do a makeover. If the habits, are there and they're being triggered by things in rooms, then change the rooms. It's a new start. Remove those romantic, nostalgic, or macho, right, representatives of your habits. A new, healthy beginning, and you don't need to hang on to trophies or reminders of the old you. And if you're spiritual, man, there's nothing wrong with doing a spiritual cleansing of the house and committing the house back to the Lord, right? And then, inspect your vehicles too. If that's where your habit was prevalent, clean it out, detail it, deodorize it. Get out there and change the channels on the radio station. Clean out the glove box and the trunk. Get rid of any reminders that could even potentially become triggers and replace them with things that celebrate your new life and your new habits. Get creative. Or maybe there's certain rooms or certain areas where you had your emotional up and downs. Our emotions often lead to strong cravings. Where is it that you had maybe depressive or anxious thinking that led to your participating? It's time for a makeover. Maybe it's a familiar chair that you always sit in and now you're starting to brood. Maybe you pick up that glass and start drinking, or you're sitting there and all of a sudden you're looking for something on the TV. Or sit somewhere else. Change the chair. Do something else so you can change your habits. Get rid of that custom mindset, because when you sit in that chair, perhaps you're putting on a mindset. So start to change it. Change any minor habits that may trigger addictive thinking. Brighten up the room. Open the curtains. Raise the shades. Let the sunshine in. Add a lamp to change the light bulbs in the rooms that you use after dark. Increase the lighting. Not only affects visual conditions, it also has effect on our biological functions and emotions. And that proper lighting helps us focus, and it can stave off that anxiety and depression. Put on new pictures. Put on new music. Get rid of things that remind you of a negative past. You can do this. Be your own detective. On the bottom of 7, how will I change my residence? Take a moment now, think that through, and make a little list here of things that you can change that are going to help you create a new mindset.